Welcome to the Mystery Vault. There are symbols that define religions, symbols that mark nations, and symbols that remain buried in ancient ruins. But then there's one that crosses all boundaries, appearing in science, politics, corporations, and even the skies. A symbol whispered through centuries, linked to power, dimensional myths, and civilizations that vanished without explanation. That symbol is the black cube. For years, it was hidden in plain sight, engraved in old Sumerian tablets, carved into Roman temples, embedded in medieval cathedrals, and later appearing in occult manuscripts labeled forbidden. But in the last decade, something changed. The cube isn't just ancient anymore, it's everywhere. Satellites have recorded cube-shaped anomalies orbiting Earth. Cities around the world have constructed mysterious black cube monuments, officially modern art, but built with impossible budgets and strange alignments to stars and ley lines. Fortune 500 companies quietly updated their logos to include cubic symbolism, and leaked documents from private intelligence contractors describe the cube as a dimensional anchor, a device or concept used to stabilize or manipulate reality across boundaries we don't yet understand. The first incident that drew global attention happened in 2014, when NASA telescopes captured a massive, perfectly cubic shadow drifting near the Sun. Officials dismissed it as pixel distortion, but experts pointed out it cast a shadow with exact edges, something no glitch would produce. Then came the reports from people around the world. Sightings of floating black cubes, appearing during storms, earthquakes, or moments of collective emotional spikes. They don't make sound. They don't emit light. They simply hang in the sky, watching. One pilot described a cube the size of a house, hovering over the ocean completely motionless despite hurricane-force winds. Another witness saw one dissolving into thin air like dust being sucked into a vacuum. But the most unsettling cases come from those who claim the cube appeared inside their dreams, not as a symbol but as a door. Historians believe the cube was once called the heart of Saturn, connected to a shadowy order that believed the universe was structured in layers, and the cube was the key between them. And now, for the first time in modern history, it's appearing everywhere at once, on Earth, in orbit, in consciousness. The question is no longer what the black cube is, but why it's activating now. And that question leads us into a secret kept hidden for thousands of years. A secret humanity was never meant to open. To understand the black cube, we must step back, far beyond modern nations, beyond ancient empires, even beyond the earliest written history. Because the cube doesn't belong to one culture. It belongs to all of them. Every major civilization, separated by oceans and centuries, drew the same shape, a perfect, impossible cube, often surrounded by swirling symbols representing time, the heavens, and something described simply as the Watchers. The Sumerians called it Shu-yu, the structure of the gods. The Egyptians spoke of it as the chamber of the hidden sun, claiming it held a fragment of creation itself. The Phoenicians worshipped a cube-shaped stone said to speak during eclipses, and ancient Hindu texts refer to Ashma, the black stone that folds reality. Different names, different eras, same shape, same meaning. But why? Researchers who've studied the symbol across civilizations discovered something disturbing. The cube always appears during transitions, moments when humanity faces massive change. The collapse of Sumer, the fall of the Roman Empire, the mysterious disappearance of the Maya, the sudden rise of ancient Persia. Every era marked with a seismic societal shift was also marked with a resurgence of black cube symbolism. Some scholars argue the cube represents order, others say chaos, but ancient esoteric groups believed something far stranger. The black cube is a marker, a sign that the boundary between dimensions is thinning. Throughout medieval Europe, secret orders wrote of visitors from the angles, entities that appeared when the cube rotated in the heavens. In Arabic manuscripts from the 9th century, astronomers described a dark cube-shaped star seen for only seconds during meteor showers. And during the Renaissance, alchemists recorded experiments where perfectly drawn cubes supposedly vibrated under moonlight. But the most chilling connection comes from a series of unrelated testimonies spanning 2,000 years. People from India, Greece, Egypt, South America, and even the Arctic reported the same dream, a black cube floating above a vast plain, silent, heavy, radiating an unnatural stillness. And a voice never human, saying the same message. It is time. No one knows what that means. But today, in the digital era, the cube has resurfaced again, not just in monuments, but in satellites, corporate symbols, aerospace research, and psychological studies. Something is aligning, something global, something deliberate. And the next piece of this mystery emerges from a place no one expected, the sky itself. Because in the last decade, pilots, astronauts, and orbital telescopes have captured something impossible, cubes appearing in the atmosphere and even in space. What are they watching? What are they waiting for? And more importantly, what happens when one of them finally opens? In the last 15 years, the black cube has broken free from ancient stone, myth, and forgotten temples. It is now appearing in places no ancient civilization could have imagined. In the modern sky, in orbital space, in physics labs, and in the subconscious minds of millions. The first recorded sighting of the modern era occurred in 2011, when a commercial pilot flying over Nevada reported a perfectly square shadow hanging above the clouds. Air traffic radar detected nothing, but the plane's onboard sensors spiked with electromagnetic interference the moment the cube appeared, as if the object wasn't made of matter, but of absence. Since then, pilots around the world have described the same thing, a black geometric shape suspended motionless in the air, unaffected by wind, storms, or gravity. Military jets scrambled to intercept it, have reported their instruments shutting down within seconds of approaching. And satellites in low orbit have captured frames, only frames of giant cubes drifting eerily near the Earth's magnetic field. NASA labels these anomalies compression artifacts, but astrophysicists quietly admit that compression doesn't cast a shadow and doesn't distort the fabric of space around it. Because that is the most disturbing feature of the cube. It bends light without reflecting it. It exists, yet it absorbs everything around it, like a hole in reality given shape. But the appearances don't stop in the sky. All around the world, massive black cube monuments have been erected in New York, Melbourne, Copenhagen, Hong Kong, Kazakhstan, Germany, Saudi Arabia, and more. They appeared quietly, without media attention, funded by ambiguous art foundations that share no board members, no financial history, and no public mission. Every monument aligns with the same coordinates, geomagnetic nodes, points where Earth's magnetic field intersects ancient ley lines. Someone, or something, is placing them with purpose. Even more unsettling is the corporate connection. Major tech, aerospace, biotech, and financial giants have subtly integrated cube symbolism into their logos and architecture. Some analysts believe these companies are participating in what insiders call the Cube Protocol, a coordinated global project connected to quantum computing, dark matter research, and something referred to in leaked emails as dimensional stabilization. Then there's the psychological phenomenon. Mental health clinics in different continents report patients describing the same dream, a black cube floating in a vast void, pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. Children have drawn it. Elderly patients have written it. Even people who've never heard of the symbol before claim they've seen it in moments of sleep paralysis. And nearly all of them describe the same thing. It watches, it chooses, it waits. Scientists dismiss this as pattern recognition. But the pattern is too global, too synchronized, too deliberate, and the timing coincides with something else. A series of atmospheric anomalies, massive black squares forming in cloud systems, geometric shadows appearing during storms, and ground tremors that register not as natural quakes, but as frequency pulses. It's as if the cube isn't just appearing, it's activating. The question is, activating what? Because ancient texts warned of a moment when the cube would reappear in sky, earth, and consciousness simultaneously. They called it the alignment, and according to the data, it has already begun. As researchers connected the patterns, ancient symbols, new monuments, atmospheric anomalies, synchronized dreams, one terrifying truth became impossible to ignore. The black cube isn't just a symbol, it's a signal. According to decrypted documents from an anonymous intelligence source known only as Astra 9, the cube is part of a vast geometric network woven into the fabric of reality. Not built by humans, not placed by civilizations, but embedded in the universe itself, like anchor points stabilizing dimensions we can barely comprehend. One section of the leak describes the cube as a multi-dimensional hinge, a structure that exists simultaneously in physical space, consciousness, and time. This would explain why it appears in the sky, in monuments, in corporations, and in dreams. It is not moving into our world, it is manifesting through it. Scientists studying atmospheric cubes discovered they pulse with frequencies far below human hearing. Yet those frequencies affect behavior, spikes in anxiety, sleep disturbances, shared hallucinations, and moments of unexplainable déjà vu. It's almost as if the cube is knocking on the boundary of reality, and the world is unconsciously responding. But the most chilling clue comes from ancient sources. Sumerian priests wrote that the cube judges the age of man. Hindu mystics said it appears when realities converge. Hermetic scholars believed it activates when a civilization reaches a tipping point, technological, spiritual, or destructive. And modern intelligence agencies quietly confirm that cube sightings dramatically increased the same year humanity reached its highest global digital synchronization. Mass internet usage, AI breakthroughs, quantum computing, and the fusion of data across continents. The ancient texts warned of this moment. They called it the Great Intersection, the instant when consciousness, technology, and hidden dimensions align, allowing something on the outside to look inward. In one of the leaked memos from Astra 9, a final message appears. The cube does not arrive, it awakens, and when it opens, we won't be alone. So the question is no longer why the black cube is appearing everywhere. The question is, what will step through when the cube finally unfolds? And will humanity be ready for what it reveals? If this symbol is appearing everywhere, what happens when it activates? Subscribe to the Mystery Vault and uncover the truths they tried to bury.